Hello boys and girls. We are currently making an explosion book, and it's something that looks like this. It's this little book, and when you open it, it's called an explosion book because it literally explodes open, and then you're able to close it right back up like that. So if you did not start this last class with me, if you were absent, or if you didn't get to finish all the squares, I am going to walk you through how to do those squares again right now. So just make sure your materials that you're going to need for class today, you're going to need 3 pieces of the squares. For my 6th graders, you're going to have black paper. You need a glue stick. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of cardboard, just like this. These are provided at the front of the room. And you're also going to need 2 pieces of decorative paper, which are just a little bit bigger than your cardboard pieces. Now, my decorative pieces of paper are just from a book. They have words on them. But in the classroom, I have pieces of paper with lots of colors on it. They have prints and patterns and things like that. You can choose 2 that match, or you can choose to use 2 that do not match. So once you have all your materials, you can then follow along with the video. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to fold your square papers in order to get the inside folds of our book. All right, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take one of the black square pieces of paper that you have. This is an 8" by 8" square. You can put the other 2 pieces to the side for now because you're going to do these one at a time. Now we're going to be making the inside of our booklet with these, which is this part that opens up. This is very simple to do. It's only 3 folds. You just need to make sure that you're following the steps as I go along to make sure that everything is going to line up correctly. So the first step that you're going to do, you're going to have your square on the paper in front of you, and you're going to make a fold from top to bottom. Remember to line up the edges, and then you're going to do your crease all the way down, and then open it back up. So if you open it back up, you should have a horizontal line of running across your paper. For your second fold, you're going to turn your paper so that now you have a vertical line going down your page. From here, you're going to do another fold from top to bottom, just like this. I'm going to line up my edges, make sure everything lines up nice and neat. And then I'm going to do my crease. Open it back up. Now, if you do this correctly, you should have a T on your page. Now from here, you need to make sure that your paper is in the correct position for the final fold, otherwise it won't work. So your paper can be in one of 2 positions. It can be in the valley position, where if we lay it on the paper, you can see that it makes like a V, it goes in like a valley. Or it can be in the mountain position, where just simply you put it upside down and then it kind of has a little bump like a mountain. You want your paper to be in the mountain position for this final fold. Once you're in the mountain position, all you're going to do is you are going to go from corner to corner, 1 corner, that's it. So I'm going to go corner to corner. I'm going to line it up. I'm going to do my crease, just like this. And now when I open this up, I'm actually going to keep opening. My finger is kind of right in the middle of the page on the back. I'm going to open. Now I'm going to still open. I'm going to kind of go more. And then you can just see that it popped. From here, in order to get this to close, you can see that there are 2 squares that have a line right through the middle of them. I'm going to take my thumbs and I'm going to put them on the squares that have no lines on them whatsoever. From there, I'm gently going to push in. You can see that this one in the front is starting to close. Now this one is not closing, but even though it has a line in it, I know that I can just kind of take my thumb and press it in. And from there, that's it. I'm just going to kind of go in and recrease it, just like this. And now you should be able to have one piece that opens and closes, just like that. And that's it. That's the only thing you're going to do. So if you haven't done so already, you need 3 of these. So you can go ahead to your other 2 and you can make those other 3. I'm going to do that now. I have my 3 pieces of paper folded, just like the way that we need them to be. Once you have all 3 pieces folded correctly, you would need to glue them together. But there's a very specific way that these need to be glued in order for it to be able to open and close so nicely, like the explosion book. So you're going to think of these as little baby birds. Tweet, 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 tweet. You can see on the bottom, they have their 2 little legs, and then they have wings on the side. So you're going to stand your baby birds, all 3 of them, facing away from you, just like this. And if you're having difficulty figuring out which way or how they should be standing, an easy way is that the top that you see, it should have a crease in the middle of it. So if you look like this doesn't look like a bird at all. It doesn't look like it's standing up. So you want it to look just like that. So the story that we're gonna do with these is that there are 3 baby birds who are waiting in their nest. Mama bird is out and she is looking for food. She finds a worm, she comes back to the nest, and she has to choose one baby bird to give the first worm to. So she decides to give the first worm to the middle baby bird, and then she flies away and she looks for more food for her babies. Now the middle baby bird, since he's already eaten, now he gets sleepy, and because of that he turns away. He turns the other direction, just like this, and he goes to sleep while his brother and sister are still awake and they're facing the front waiting for Mama Bird to come back and give them their food. So the purpose of this story is so that you all know how to set these up. So you should have 2 little baby birds on the end facing away from you, and then your baby bird in the middle should be facing you. And how this is going to work is that the wings, so if we look at this wing right here, this is going to slip under the wing of this baby bird, just like this. You can see how they kind of form together, and that would get glued. And then this wing is going to slip right under this wing, right like this. And then these 2 would get glued together as well. And this will be able to make the accordion, the book. So one thing I do want to just remind you is that you are not putting glue on the outside and then just kind of going like this with the wings. It's not gonna work. You need to make sure that the wings are slipping inside like that. So what I do is I'm going to only do like a pair at a time. So I'm gonna take my glue stick right now, and you guys should too if you're ready for this part. And all right, so I know that this wing has to attach to the inside of this wing. So I'm just going to kind of lean this down. I'm gonna put glue right here, and I'm gonna put my baby bird back up. And now I know that inside here also needs glue. So I'm gonna glue right here. And then all I'm gonna do is, now these aren't baby birds, but I know that these 2 areas with the glue have to go onto each other. So I'm just going to flip it, make sure that they attach. All right, make sure that it's in that square area. And then I'm just going to kind of smooth it out so that the glue sticks. All right. Now I still have this baby bird. He's facing away, which is right. And then even though this guy is attached right now, I know that my baby bird should be facing this way. So that means I'm gonna put glue here. So I'm gonna put my glue right here on the other one. And then I know that glue is supposed to go on the inside right here of this wing. So I'm just gonna open this up, and see I'm kind of blocking the rest of it with my hand so I know not to glue that. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue right here. And then again, I know that this and this have to attach because they both have glue. So I'm just going to flip it over and put the glue side down right there, smooth it out. All right. And then from there, you should have something that looks like this. And at this point, this should be able to fold nicely. It does take a little bit of time to figure out how to close it. So just kind of take your time, and wherever there's a bend, you don't want to force anything because you already made all of the indentations in the paper. So wherever there's a bend, this should want to go in. So like I'm just gonna use my fingers and see I'm gonna close this. All right, that's fine, that's closing down. Now this one doesn't have a bend to it, so that wants to go just down. So I'm gonna close it. This has a bend, so that wants to go down. This wants to go down. This doesn't have a bend, so I'm just kind of pushing flat. And if I get something, I'm just kind of smoothing out the creases. Now I still have this side, so now I have to flip this over. And then same thing. So see, this wants to bend because I already made a crease. This wants to bend because there's a crease. And then again, I just flatten it down. All right, and now let's see how I did. Oh, there we go. And then I can close it back down again. So it's gonna be, if you're having a little bit of difficulty opening and closing your explosion book, it might just be your edges. You wanna make sure that you're really taking your finger and your thumb, your pinchers, and you're really getting your creases nicely. The more your book is creased, the easier it will be to open and close it. And also just, keep doing that motion, keep repeating it, and then you'll be good to go. All right, so for our next part, you're gonna need your explosion book, which is already glued together. You're going to need 2 pieces of cardboard, and then you are also going to need your 2 decorative pieces of paper. So I will give you a minute. Oh, and also a glue stick, of course. So I'll give you a minute to get your new materials. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing now, we already have the inside of our book made. We're gonna be making the outside covers, which are just like they're a little bit harder, just to give the book some rigidity, so that you're able to open and close it with ease. So what you're gonna be doing, you need your 2 pieces of cardboard and your 2 decorative pieces of paper. You're gonna do one at a time. And your pieces of paper are slightly bigger than the cardboard, just 1/2 inch all around. And what you're gonna do is, so look at your piece of paper. Some of the paper that you're getting only has pattern on one side. Some of it is double-sided. So mine is double-sided, but I like this pattern. I don't really want this, the title of this chapter, to be seen. So I'm gonna make sure that the pattern that I want to be seen on the cover is down on the table. So I want this pattern, so it's going to be down on the table. I don't want to see this, so I want it facing up. So all you're gonna do is you're going to take your piece of cardboard and you're going to lay it right in the middle of your square piece of paper. You are going to line it in the middle. You don't want it lined up with an edge anywhere like that, because we're actually gonna fold these over like a gift, and I'm gonna show you how. So one thing that's really important, especially when we are gluing, is that you want to have a piece of scrap paper. So you can use any of the scrap paper in the front of the room, because you don't want the glue to be getting on the surface of the table, and it's gonna ruin the table, so we don't want that. So I'm just gonna have my paper, I have this, I'm gonna take my glue stick, and very simply, you're going to put the glue stick right on the edge of that paper, right here. You're gonna do it on the top, and then fold it onto the cardboard, just like this. And then you're not gonna do the sides, you're just gonna go from top to bottom. So I'm gonna do the bottom, put that glue right there. And I'm actually gonna just turn this just so I can fold it again, like I just did. Whoops. Okay. So you should have only the top and bottom glued just like that at the moment. Now you're going to turn it again, and we're gonna do top and bottom again. The only difference is we're adding one step. All you're gonna do is at the corners, you're going to fold them on a diagonal, just like you're wrapping a gift. So I folded this already, I'm just gonna fold this in. So see how it's like a little triangle now? It's a little bit of a corner. It's okay if it doesn't stay down at the moment, because you are going to glue it. All right, so I'm folding those in. Now I'm going to put glue again, right there and right on top of that little fold I did. And then again, I'm going to fold. Keep dropping my glue stick today. All right, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to just kind of fold it at the edge like I'm wrapping a gift. And then I'm going to add that glue. And then fold it. All right. There you go. So if you do it correctly, you should be able to have your design on one side, and then on the inside, you're just gonna have the lining on the edges. Here are my 2 book covers. They're done, and they're already dry. I just waited a minute or 2, that's really it. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach them to the inside of the book that you just made. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure that your book, first you're gonna make sure that your book can close correctly and you're doing it right. You don't wanna be like folding anything. You want it to just be simply, you can open it from having your fingers on either side of it and it just closes up nicely. All we're going to do is we're going to attach one cover to the top, just like that. And then once that is attached, we're going to attach the other cover to the bottom right here. So these covers are going to be bigger than your paper. They're bigger by, I believe, 2 inches, maybe an inch all the way around. So that is okay, they are supposed to be bigger. All I'm going to do is, again, I'm working on a piece of scrap paper so I don't get glue all over my workspace. I'm going to put some glue right onto the paper, right here. And then I'm not gonna put glue on the edges of the cardboard because remember the cardboard is bigger. So I'm really just gonna keep it contained. I'm gonna make a little square in the middle and just do something like that. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line it up, make sure that it is kind of in the same position as the square. And then I'm just going to press down just like this. Then I'm going to flip this over and I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna put glue right over here. Remember, a little square in the middle. I am not going on the edges. And same thing here. Little square in the middle, staying away from those edges. Line it up. So now at this time, when you already have one attached, you wanna make sure your patterns match up. So I was just about to kind of go like this, and my other side, you see my words are this way. So you wanna make sure that they are matching up. You know, this, I think I wanna do it like this so that the words are all facing the same direction. So I have my patterns lined up, and then I'm just gonna turn it to the side, and now I'm going to attach it just like this. I'm going to push down again. And if you have a book with you or an agenda, if you want to kind of just place it on top of it and wait a minute, it'll be able to put force. If you don't have anything with you, you can just kind of use your hands. You can stand up. Remember, you don't want to be slamming it or doing anything like that because that's not helping the glue stick at all. It just needs a constant pressure. So as long as your hands are just on top of it and it's holding it down, then it should set in about a minute. All right. Once you're good, you can lift it up. And from there, now you have your covers, and there you go. Now it opens, and it also can close, just like that. Perfect. So when you're done assembling your book, what you're going to do is you're going to start designing the inside of it. Now, when you open up this book, you're going to have 16 different areas. So you can see like there's 1, 2, which are full squares, and then you also have these squares that are cut in 2. They only have halves. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right, well, thank you very much, guys. I will see you next week, and we will continue.